What's up, you sweaty nerds and greasy degenerates? So, y'all know what it is. We got a new character in Honkai Star Rail, so it's time to see where they've landed on the tier list. But first, let's go ahead up to the top again. As per usual, we're here again at pridewind.gg, taking a look at the Honkai Star Rail tier list for patch 3.0 part 2. And again, this is the most trusted tier list in the Honkai Star Rail community, at least on the EN side of things, but we usually do have criticisms for this list. For example, what the heck is Firefly doing here? I talked about this the last time we had a tier list video. I think a bunch of other people have shared their sentiment on this exact same thing. I had a bunch of player feedback on this, and I feel like if you're gonna put Acheron down here, right, and that Firefly should also be down here. Not only that, but is she, I don't know, man. Is she as good as the Herda right now, who has free-to-play options and whatnot? Not that that matters per se. She's getting, absolutely obliterated in terms of performance by characters like Fei Xiao and characters like Herda. And I feel like her performance is either as good, maybe slightly better, or whatever, than maybe Acheron. I don't feel like there's this big gap between a lot of these characters at tier 0.5 and Firefly. But I do feel like there's a noteworthy gap between some of these characters here, like Fei Xiao and the Herda, between some of these other characters here. Let's just say there's a smaller gap between Firefly and these characters, okay? I'm trying to be nice here, but I shouldn't be. Firefly needs to drop down. It's time, okay? It's time. Anyways, we're not here for that. We're here for Aglaea, okay? Aglaea has landed here at tier 0.5, which is, to be honest, what I expected, okay? She does want her E1 and her S1 more badly than a lot of other characters do. You know what I mean? It's just facts. A lot of people were, comparing her to Acheron and how Acheron wants Eidolons or signatures as well. But the difference is that Acheron can function really, really well on her launch at E0, and she still functions at E0, S0. She just maybe doesn't function as well as she did on launch. Aglaea's different, right? She's not landing up here at tier 0. She's not literally landing as the best character in the game at the time at E0. It's a pretty obvious, especially with Powercreep being as bad as it is in Honkai Star Rail lately, when you see a character that's, kind of not hyped up in a way, but a character that is one of the brand new characters from a brand new area, in terms of Amphorius, right? She's the first Remembrance DPS in the game. Think about that for a second. The first Remembrance DPS in the game, landing here at tier 0.5. Now that's not bad in terms of the game, right? No, new characters don't have to release as a top tier character, but I can promise you there's gonna be some top tier characters coming out relatively soon. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, okay? And Aglaea is not one of those characters that at E0, at S0 is going to land as a top tier. This is day one. Maybe we'll cook a little bit. Maybe we'll change our minds on that. But I mean, a lot of people, myself included, have been saying and trying to tell the community that, you guys, this might not be the best pull for the value. You might have, you want to, recognize what pull power you have. This, the pull value of her is not as good as it would be getting somebody like Tribby, who's a Harmony character, or something like that. Maybe somebody else coming in the future, maybe Casterus, whatever, right? People hate that we're glazing on Casterus too much, and to be fair, it's still early, but we know that Tribby's gonna be good. We know that for a fact. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But anyway, I wanted to talk as well. We'll talk about Aglaea in a sec maybe, but I wanted to talk about Sunday before I forget, before I rant too hard here. He's gotten the bump up because of the introduction like a character like Aglaea, right? Which is crazy because he's up here at tier 0 and she's down here at tier 0.5, despite the fact that he's pretty much only getting raised up because of the introduction of Aglaea right now. But I actually have to give Pridewind props for this, because Sunday is not just good on summoner teams. He was already good without that. He can be used on teams that are not necessarily summoner based. But up until this point, he hasn't had a lot of really good options as far as a synergetic character to buff up. He has Jing Yuan, And let's just be honest here. I don't know if Jing Yuan would be up here if he didn't have, Sunday, right? And who else is he supposed to be buffing? Topaz, right? Topaz wants to be on a follow-up team, not really like a summoner team right now. You know what I mean? She's more of a sub DPS. So I'm actually stoked that Pridewin is recognizing that even though Aglaea might not be tier 0, Sunday has another character he can buff in the game now, and that gives him even more value. And trust me when I say this, his value is only going to go up, okay? Y'all seen the big old dragon that Casterus has, okay? Regardless of how you feel about her, like the introduction of another character that has a summon like that is going to give Sunday more value. That's just facts, okay? And again, he doesn't necessarily have to be on a summon team to show how strong he is in the meta. So bro's goated right now. Bro's actually goated, and he's only going to get better. But on that note, I wanted to point out the new tag we got. I don't know if you've noticed it. It's called partner. We'll take a look at that in just a second here. You see Jing Yuan's got partner. We see that Acheron has partner. We see that Aglaea has partner. I want to use their words rather than my own. So partner, new. The character is incredibly reliant on being partnered with one specific character in order to function at the highest level. Characters marked with this tag will perform one, but sometimes even more, tiers lower than their listed position on the list without those characters alongside them. So you'll see a character like, Acheron wants to have Zhao Cho. You'll have, like, Aglaea wants to have Sunday. A character like Jing Yuan also wants to have Sunday. Hopefully I'm not missing any other characters that are that reliant on somebody else. No, I'm not seeing it. So if they are, they're super down low. It doesn't really matter. But I do want to point out that, a character like Acheron, people keep saying that she has to have Zhao Cho. She absolutely has to have Zhao Cho. Bro, what were you doing before Zhao Cho got in the game? You were running a fast Pela with really, really high EHR and the Sweat of Universal Market light cone. And you were doing just fine, right? Sure, Zhao Cho's easier to use, he's more comfy, it's easier to build, etc, etc. Yeah, he's the better pick. I'm not going to sit here and lie about that. He is literally just a better pick. But, just so you guys are aware, just because a character has the partner tag doesn't mean they don't function without that partner, right? They just might not be quite, let's say in Acheron's case, a tier 0.5 character, okay? But I'll just say it right now. Like, y'all need to be running a super crazy Pela on that team. Now, I know some of you are probably already running Zhao Cho and Pela, but some people might only have one of the two properly built, and so they're using another character in that slot. I just wanted to point that out. But a character like Aglaea simply will not be performing that well. Like, she might not be tier 0.5 without Sunday. You see what I'm saying? Right? Like some Acheron teams will still be okay without Zhao Cho, but Aglaea is not the same. She really does really badly want that help from Sunday. She is a bit more of a selfish DPS. She wants a lot of energy, so she also kinda wants to have, where is she? Huo, right? You could use her E1, which helps you with the energy situation. You could maybe use a character like, I don't know, Ting Yun, because she has that energy buff, right? But let's be honest here, you probably don't want to use Ting Yun unless you're absolutely desperate. I love the girl, but like it's not 1.0 anymore. It's not 2.0 anymore. It's been a while. She's gotten power crept from other characters. Robin, by the way, a very strong character to use with Aglaea. The action advance for the whole team is very, very helpful, right? You want to, a very strong team could be like Aglaea, Sunday, Robin, and like Huo, just super duper OP team. Try it out if you guys haven't done so already. But I'm not hating on Aglaea, by the way. I need you guys to understand that. I'm just saying that in a world where so many new new characters have been coming out as a tier 0 character, Aglaea is not showing up as one of those units. Like Yun Li, right? Yun Li is a very strong character, but when she was released, a lot of us were saying, hey guys, she's really, really good, But, you know, we had Acheron that came out, you know, around not too long before that. She was tier 0. We had Fei Xiao coming out soon. She was a tier 0, still is a tier 0. So, you know, when you think of your pull value on your account, Yun Li wasn't as valuable of a DPS, right? She's held up pretty darn well, and that's really, really good for her. But that's what we're trying to say. We're not saying Aglaea is like super duper bad or anything like that. She's just a picky DPS, a selfish DPS. She wants a lot. She is good. She's not literally a top tier at E0. Now, if you have yourself an E1 S1 Aglaea, you got yourself a really serious powerhouse on your hands, my friend, okay? Especially if you can build her with the proper teams, you know, with a team with Sunday and like Huohuo or something like that, you know, and if you got Robin too, like that's great. But Robin is like the best character in the game currently right now because of her universality amongst like pretty much all teams except for maybe I don't know, a Blade team or something. But dude, the Action Advance team wide is just so powerful. You know, Ron May is still up here at tier 0 because she's universally good on literally every team. But you have the same thing with Robin, only that Robin is just a bit better than Ron May. She's quite literally the best character currently in the game. So, you know, that's kind of somebody that you want to put on other teams as well. Like if you got a follow-up team of Fei Xiao you're still using, you might want to put your Robin there. That's kind of one of the unfortunate things that Aglaea really does want a Robin on your team too. You could totally use somebody else, but it's just something I wanted to point out, that she's a bit of a picky character. She's not bad, right? It's just she's a bit more annoying to build as far as your teams are concerned. I know some people would say Acheron has a similar issue where she's also rather limited, but one thing to keep in mind, one of the best pairings you have with Acheron is Pela, a 4-star character, right? Acheron doesn't technically have a dedicated sustainability character, so you could use somebody like Aventurine. You could also use somebody like Gallagher. You could use somebody like Fu Xuan with the Trend of Universal Market Lycone. You have options there, right? With Aglaea, you don't have as many options. You are pretty hard stuck on pretty much wanting to use a 5-star in every single slot, whereas Acheron could use a 4-star Pela and a 4-star Gallagher and perform at very, very high levels, right? Once you start dropping off your Sundays and your Huohuos and your Robins off of an Aglaea team, there is a very, very big difference between the best Aglaea teams and the best Acheron teams, or the Herta, right? The Herta has free-to-play options in, Serval, in a character like Herta. You see what I'm saying? There are options here, right? Yeah, sure, Ling Shaw is like one of her best options, but, you know, but here you go. Gallagher as well. Gallagher works on the Herta team as well. So you have more options with a team like that. So again, I think Aglaea is a good character. She's just more picky, and I think it's important to point this out because a lot of players might be trying to pull her or even invest into her very highly when, you know, there's other options coming down the line that will give you like more impact on your account, like a support character like Tribby. I mean, look at support characters. They don't release all too often, but look at all the last support characters that released. They're all top tiers. They're all very meta relevant. Every single one of them. Even the free support character we got recently as the Trailblazer is also a very, very powerful and important character, right? I mean, look at the support characters, the best characters in the whole game. And just so you guys know, Tribby is power creep. She is. Tribby is going to literally be power creep, okay? Aglaea is not power creep, okay? That's the best way I can say as far as an E0 character difference between her and a lot of other characters. Aglaea is not power creep. Tribby is power creep. That's the difference between her and maybe some other characters that could be coming, okay? So again, you're going to get mad anyway, even though I prefaced this 1,000 times. She's still good, but she's very, very picky, and you really, really want to invest in her a lot to have her perform at a high level. And her teams and everything that they've put together for this T0.5 pick, all of that is with her most ideal teams and everything like that. So if you're not using her best teams, you know, relics and all that other jazz, you're not going to be up here at tier 0.5. You're going to be down here hanging out with Jing Yuan or something like that. All right? Anyways, you guys like this kind of stuff? I'll see you guys in the next one. Consider leaving a like and subscribe. Enjoy the patch. Enjoy this new hottie that's come out, because she is hot as hell. Peace out.